So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the YouTube live. And कल जैसे हमने प्रॉमिस किया था, रॉबिन वेलकम. Okay, but God shows His love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Jesus loves you. So, good afternoon. Right now, I am looking at a watch, and it's showing almost 4 a.m. early in the morning. So, whatever that is written, Lord, that is very true. We are still sinners, and Christ died for us, and Jesus loves everybody. Okay, so taking into that consideration, we are going to just start right now. Something we are going to do is that uh, let me just schedule few messages for the day, because yesterday we have covered a topic of a pharmacology in which we discussed about parasympathomimetics and classification of parasympatholytics. So, on the based on the same topics, we are going to have daily diamond MCQs till early in the morning, and after that, we are going to start a few topics from the anatomy, human anatomy. Okay, let's start anatomy. A scheduled part is done. So, yesterday in the evening, we have covered what is the basic structure of orbit, which is nothing but a pyramidal structure, and contributing a very vital part of our cranio-maxillofacial structure. Seven bones, almost seven bones, they constitute this particular bony orbit, and lot of contents, important contents. Lot of nerves are also there, along with fat as well. So right about so we will read something about like carotid. Okay, so the carotid artery is a like major blood vessel that supply oxygen rich blood to the head and neck. Okay, and it is divided into common carotid artery, that is CCA, which bifurcates into the internal carotid artery. Okay, and the external carotid artery. So these are the two parts. Okay, and at the level of C3 and C4 vertebrae. So near the upper border of thyroid cartilage, basically common carotid artery, it bifurcates, okay, into external and internal carotid artery. So the right common carotid artery arises from the brachiocephalic trunk, okay, and the left common carotid artery arises directly from the aortic arch. So these are the two basic MCQs which might come from anatomy. Okay, head and neck और फेस के जो भी जितने भी नर्व्स, जितने भी मसल्स, जितनी भी ऑस्टियोलॉजी है, उसके ऊपर ही क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं. रियरली लोअर लिम, अपर लिम या एब्डोमेन से पूछे जाते हैं. यस, थोरैक्स से आ जाते हैं कुछ क्वेश्चंस. So, dividing anatomy again into different topics which you have prepared, which we have actually gone through a lot of times, and which ones are left. तो यस, एब्डोमेन में भी थोड़ा सा लीवर का पार्ट आ जाता है, जिसमें एनाट फिजियो थोड़ी सी बायोकेम भी काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट होती है. सो ब्रांचेस ऑफ द एक्सटर्नल कैरोटिड आर्टरी वी आर गोइंग टू रिवाइज. सो The external carotid artery supplies blood to the face, to the scalp, and external structures of the head. Okay, so it gives off eight branches. External carotid artery ECA has eight branches. Okay, or first is superior thyroid artery, second is ascending pharyngeal artery, okay, then we have lingual artery, third, fourth is facial artery, then also on the what's the part, occipital artery is there, posterior auricular artery, maxillary artery, and superficial temporal artery. So these are the eight branches of external carotid artery. Okay, सो डिटेल्स बेसिकली सुपीरियर थायराइड यहाँ पे से यहाँ पे एक्चुअली वो ब्रांच होती है, बायोफर्केट होती है, तो वो एक इजी है याद रखने के लिए कि सुपीरियर थायराइड आर्टरी विच सप्लाइज द थायराइड ग्लैंड फर्स्ट, also supplies the larynx and infrahyoid muscles. Okay, then second, ascending pharyngeal artery which supplies the pharynx and prevertebral muscles as well and middle ear. So middle ear जो होता है, it is supplied by the ascending pharyngeal artery. Then lingual artery is there which supplies the tongue and the floor of the mouth. So, and facial artery supplies the face, lips, and even nose. Occipital artery which supplies the posterior scalp and sternocleidomastoid muscle. So sternocleidomastoid muscle which is supplied by the occipital artery, which is a branch of external carotid artery. Then we also have posterior auricular artery which supplies the auricle and the scalp behind the ear. Okay, and maxillary, most importantly, the major branch that supplied the deep structures of the face, including muscles of the mastication, maxilla, mandible, and dura mater as well. So maxillary artery is a major branch of ECA which supplies the deep structures. And superficial temporal artery, last eighth, it supplies the scalp and forehead. Okay, branches of internal carotid artery basically. So it supplies the blood to the brain, eyes, and orbit. Okay, it has no branches in the neck, but it gives off several branches intracranially. So ophthalmic artery, which supplies the eye, orbit, and a part of a forehead. Then posterior communicating artery is also a branch of internal carotid artery which forms a part of the circus of Willis. तो जो सर्कस ऑफ विलिस है उसका एक पार्ट होती है पोस्टेरियर कम्युनिकेटिंग आर्टरी. देन एंटेरियर कोराइडल आर्टरी इज देयर which supplies the choroid plexus, optic tract, and parts of the brain. And anterior cerebral artery supplies the medial surface of the frontal bone and parietal lobes, not bone but lobes. And middle cerebral artery, it is the largest branch of internal carotid artery, supplying most of the lateral cerebral cortex. Okay, so eight branches of external and five branches of internal. I'm I am again creating at least 10 MCQs based on these same topics, and this will be posted on the Telegram channel. Kindly do check that as well. फेशियल आर्टरी वो भी कर लेते हैं एक बार. राइट अबाउट फेशियल आर्टरी. So facial artery is a major branch of the external carotid artery, and it plays a very crucial role in supplying blood to the face, ये वाले स्ट्रक्चर जो होते हैं बेसिकली। एंड उसका ओरिजिन देख लेते हैं। द फेशियल आर्टरी अराइजेस फ्रॉम द एक्सटर्नल कैरोटिड आर्टरी just above the lingual artery, okay, at the level of the mandible, कि मैंडिबल के लेवल पे लिंगुअल आर्टरी से जस्ट अबव फेशियल आर्टरी जो होती है वो ब्रांच हो जाती है. So then it passes deep to the submandibular gland and curves over mandible near the anterior border of the masseter muscle. तो जो masseter muscle है बेसिकली, ओके, तो उसके एंटीरियर बॉर्डर तक वो कर्व होके मैंडिबल से जाती है. Then it ascends obliquely towards the medial angle of the eye. Okay, medial angle of the eye, supplying the various facial structures along its course. So first of all, cervical branch before crossing the mandible, cervical चीज आती है. So ascending parental artery, which supplies the soft palate, pharynx, and tonsils. Then tonsillar artery is also a branch of a cervical thing. It supplies the palatine tonsil. Then submental artery, also a branch of the cervical branch before crossing the mandible. So it supplies the submental region, mylohyoid muscles, and even chin. And glandular branch, which supplies the submandibular branch. After that, after crossing the mandible, these are the like this is the area where facial branch जो होती है वो आ जाती है. So inferior labial artery supplies the lower lip. Superior labial artery, which supplies the nasal septum and facial upper lip. Okay, then lateral nasal, which supplies the lateral side of nose. And terminal branch होती है facial artery की, facial branch की, angular artery, which supplies the medial angle of the eye, and it anastomoses with the ophthalmic artery. Okay, तो inferior labial, सुपेरियर लेबियल, लैटरल नसल एंड एंगुलर आर्टरी, तो ये फेशियल ब्रांच के थे आफ्टर क्रॉसिंग मैंडिबल. और बिफोर क्रॉसिंग मैंडिबल असेंडिंग पेरेंटाइन, टॉन्सिलर, सबमेंटल एंड ग्लैंडुलर. ओके, so it also it's like a part of a danger triangle of the face, because area around the nose, okay, and upper lip, it is called danger triangle, because of its, let's say, venous communication with the cavernous sinuses. So infections in these regions basically they spread very fast. So this is the thing. Early morning है. So, meatus of nose, okay, that is also a very good topic to read. So, anatomy, its function, and the clinical significance of this particular thing. So, meatises, they are basically passageways located within the nasal cavity that help to drain the paranasal sinuses and direct airflow. So they are found beneath the nasal conchae, that is turbinates, on the lateral wall of the nasal cavity. So what are the different types of like meatus? So superior meatus is there, middle meatus is there, and inferior meatus is there. Okay. So these are the like three main meatises along with an additional smaller one. Okay. So superior where it is like located. So below the superior nasal conchae, and it drains the posterior ethmoidal air cells. Superior meatus. Okay. Then middle meatus, it is located below the middle nasal concha, and it drains maxillary sinus, frontal sinus, and anterior ethmoid air cells. Okay. And lastly, inferior meatus located just below the inferior nasal conchae, which drains the nasolacrimal duct, which carries tears from the eyes to the nasal cavity. कल हमने ऑर्बिट पढ़ा था, तो उसमें सेम टॉपिक्स था. व्हाट इज द like which a part of like orbit has a house like has a house for that particular lacrimal duct and lacrimal gland. So और वो ड्रेन वहाँ से कहाँ होती है. तो सुपेरियर, मिडल, इंफीरियर नजल कॉन्की, और उसके बीच में ऑब्वियसली स्पेस होने वाली है, दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज लाइक मियाटिस. तो एंटीरियर इथेरोमोइडल सेल्स, पोस्टीरियर इथेरोमोइडल सेल्स, मैक्सिलरी साइनस, ओके, फ्रंटल साइनस कहाँ पे, एंड फाइनली नैसोलैक्रिमल डक्ट वो कहाँ पे एक्चुअली होती है. और एक स्पिनोइथेमोइडल रेसेस होती है एक्स्ट्रा वाली. इट्स नॉट अ ट्रू मियाटिस, but it is located above the superior concha, okay, which drains the sphenoidal sinus. है नहीं वो, but like it's not a true meatus. So drainage of the sinuses, that is the main function. The meatises facilitate the drainage of the mucus from the paranasal sinuses, so it prevents also infection. Okay, वो एक चीज़ है इसमें. And airflow regulations, they help in warming, humidifying, and filtering the air before it reaches the lungs. Okay, that's why वो कॉन्की की तरह क्रिएटेड है. जितना ज़्यादा एयर सरफेस जितना ज़्यादा सरफेस रहेगा, अगर स्मूथ रहता तो ज़्यादा मॉइस्ट नहीं हो पाती, ज़्यादा डैम्पन नहीं हो पाती, जस्ट बिकॉज इट्स लाइक अनइवन और इरेगुलर है. तो ज़्यादा एरिया जो है वहाँ पे क्रिएट किया गया है. तो साइनोसाइटिस, इन्फ्लेमेशन ऑफ द साइनसेस कैन block these meatises, so which lead to the sinusitis. Or middle meatus, which is most commonly affected due to the maxillary sinus drainage. Okay. Then epistaxis, nosebleed. So inferior meatus is very close to the uh, Kisselbach plexus, which is a common site for the nosebleeds. Okay. And blockage in the inferior meatus, it can cause tear accumulation, leading to the dacrocystitis, infection of the lacrimal sac. Okay.